First, let's continue our focus on matriculants, and it's not just all about the great results that so many had. The matriculants wanting to pursue tertiary studies are at high risk, it seems, of being lured to study at illegal fly-by-night colleges. The Higher Education Department advising students to avoid bogus colleges and enroll with accredited ones. The question is, how do you know the difference? Well, the department's warning that studies completed at illegal institutions aren't recognized by the South African Qualifications Authority. That's, of course, a huge issue if you spend all that money and that time. So let's unpack the issue and what to look out for. It's always a pleasure to have with us on the show the department's Ishmael Nisi for more on the issue. Ishmael, hello to you. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you.
And all the best for 2020. This is so unfortunate that we've just covered what's been a wonderful few days of the increased matric pass rate, top matriculants, their futures are ahead of them, and now we have this issue that some of them could very well be caught out by these bogus colleges. How does this even happen? Where do they come from?
Look, year in, year out, we are confronted with this challenge of bogus colleges that we are made aware by the parents and the students themselves. And as a department, we immediately unleash our officials to go to those places and arrest the individuals or even close down the very same schools. As we are sitting on our database now, we've got about 68 of those institutions which we have blacklisted, and in certain instances we are even continuing to make more arrests. Yesterday and today we're busy in Limpopo. We'll be continuing next week around Johannesburg and other areas to make sure that we uproot these institutions where we find them.
I almost don't want to use the word institutions, because that's not fair, is it? It's just these bogus places. I mean, institutions are recognized.
Exactly.
I don't want to use the word institutions, no. But for someone who's watching this now, they've got various options available to them. They go online, they want to study a BA journalism degree. That's what I did. How would I know if the place that I'm looking at that I think is an institution isn't legit? The website looks great, their social media looks fantastic, they've got courses, they've got bursaries, they've got lovely pictures. It looks fine to me. How do I know the difference? What do I do?
Well, firstly, with that biasness that we have, we are saying they must try the 26 known public universities in the country, including the TVET colleges, which we have 50 about there, in numbers, which have even other campuses. So we are saying before they even try the private institutions, let them go to government-sanctioned institutions, because the courses and the programs that we offer there, they are all accredited. But to deal with the challenges that we have, for those that might not even qualify to be in these public institutions we're talking about, firstly, if they confront, they want to go into these institutions, these private institutions, one, they can call us in the Department of Higher Education and Training so that we can assist them to validate these institutions. They can even go into our website. We do have all the numbers of validated institutions in the country. And they can also ask the very same institutions when they go there, firstly of the certificate of accreditation, including the certificate for the programs that they have, because there are two of these certificates, one for the institution and for particular programs. Because sometimes you find an institution has been accredited, but with few courses. Now they add a number of courses. Now when you're supposed to graduate, you realize that you've got a qualification that won't be able to get you employment, but also won't be able to assist you to study further.
One could almost suggest as well, I think perhaps as a practical way, apart from being able to go onto the website, which I'm sure people can find quite easily, Department of Higher Education, just Google that, go to the school where you matriculated. I think if you're lost, go back to the school where you were and ask your teachers. That's also maybe a way to go, because they can trust that individual, can't they?
Certainly, we do have a program actually with the Department of Education where we are working with schools. The program is called CATA. We have been going throughout the schools sharing career guidance information with them. We have been crisscrossing the country, and we have given them the list of institutions that are accredited, obviously with our public universities and TVET colleges. So we are saying the information is all over there. Before parents can even start to pay to anything, please, they must contact us. We've got toll-free numbers that we'll share with them. We'll be able to assist them.
I'm sure we can get those toll-free numbers on air a little bit later when we talk about this story again. You mentioned that you've got a database, Ishmael, of these fraudulent institutions in this case. Apart from looking at those, what kind of education sector are they chasing? Is it the TVET? Is it the degrees? Is it the certificates? Is it the higher diplomas? Or do these fraudulent colleges target a certain demographic of student?
Certainly, they target the vulnerable students, those who cannot make it into our institutions, and they offer them 3 months, 6 months, a year certificates with the view that they will then graduate into universities and colleges and TVET colleges, in certain instances. So they're not actually offering 3 years qualifications and so on. So they offer these short qualifications and promising the learners an opportunity to get employment thereafter, and only to find that it's bogus, it's fake. Those qualifications cannot be recognized at all.
Ooh, excuse me. For someone who's watching who thinks they may have stumbled upon a college or an institution like this, but they're not sure. Yes, they've maybe got the certificate of accreditation, but they're not sure if it's legit or if it's not. Where can they go with that information? Can they just phone the Department of Higher Education, or can they go and speak to somebody at one of these other institutions?
Look, of first instance, they can go to the nearest police station and report those institutions, so that law enforcement agencies can immediately go to those institutions and request on their behalf the very same certificates that we are talking about of accreditation or recognition by the Department of Higher Education. If they don't have, the law enforcement agencies have the right to shut down those institutions, of course in consultation with us. However, as I said earlier on, they can even contact us. We'll immediately check for them and inform them whether those are accredited or not. But there's also a remedy that we are giving them. For such institutions, the learner or the parents can demand the money paid from those very same institutions. They will contact us, and then as a department, then we'll give them the procedure for them to be able to claim back their money. And depending if the money is beyond 15,000, we advise them to go to small claims court. Beyond it, they can even source legal assistance for them to be able to reclaim all the monies that they've paid to these institutions.
Very briefly, do you have that toll-free number on hand?
Certainly I have.
Can you give it to me?
Yeah, the toll-free number is 0800 87444.
87444.
Yeah.
All right. I appreciate it. I'm sure we'll get that on screen a little bit later. Ishmael, thank you so much indeed for coming in to speak to us. Very important issue as well. Ishmael Mnisi from the Department of Higher Education, just warning parents and students, the now post-matric students looking for tertiary institution studies this year, be careful and make sure that they are legitimate.